Jurors today heard from a man accused of helping his son commit a triple murder.
Yeah, Richard Acosta is on trial for capital murder for the deaths of 3 people at a Garland gas station in 2021. Acosta claims he had no idea what was happening. Prosecutors say he helped his son. Fox 4's Alex Boyer has been listening to today's testimony and joins us now with more. Alex.
Hi, and today before the state rested its case, it did call the lead detective to the stand to testify, and that detective went by the store surveillance video frame by frame, and he said in his opinion it shows Richard Acosta Jr. was essentially helping his son Abel case the convenience store before the shooting. Acosta had a much different explanation when he took the witness stand. Taking the stand in his own defense Thursday, Richard Acosta Jr. tells the jury his version of events on December 26, 2021, the night he and his then 14-year-old son Abel stopped at this Texaco convenience store.
My purpose was just to go in there and just grab these 2 Tylenol packs that my wife needed. And that was just going to be it, nothing more.
Acosta said when he returned to his white Dodge Ram pickup truck, then parked facing the entrance of the store, Abel asked him about 2 guys he had seen walk in, we now know to be 17-year-old Rafael Garcia and 16-year-old Ivan Noyola.
He pointed directly towards that direction, and said, those guys right there. And I said, didn't tell me anything.
Acosta testified he had never seen the teens before that night and didn't know who they were. Acosta told the jury his son told them the duo knew who had stolen a necklace of his and wanted to talk to them. Acosta said his son did not appear to be angry.
Just thought he was just going to ask them a question or whereabouts of his necklace, but nothing where it alarmed me.
Acosta said he agreed to let his son go inside the store. Acosta claims that as he was circling around the gas pumps, Abel tried to jump out.
And when I told him to relax, he takes off his shirt. As soon as he starts taking off his shirt, I accidentally hit the man's truck.
We now know that truck belonged to Noyola's uncle, who is waiting for his nephew and Garcia to get their tacos. Acosta eventually drives back around and says he told his son to hurry up, which is why he kept the truck in drive, and also why Acosta testified he thought Abel jumped out and quickly made his way towards the store. Acosta testified he had no idea his son was armed.
If you had seen him with a firearm, what would you have done?
I would have cut off, and I would have tried to do something. I would have tried to stop any type of situation if he was going to harm somebody.
Acosta said he was listening to the radio and never saw his son enter the store or shoot anyone. Acosta said he ducked down as the gunfire erupted. Next thing he knew, Abel jumped into the back seat, sitting directly behind him, and told him to drive.
He says, go. He says, get out, somebody's shooting. He goes, get me out of here.
Acosta said he never saw a gun and claims Abel later disappeared without his knowledge. Acosta says his son should pay for what he did.
It's the most horrible thing. I can't even imagine how the families feel, and we all lost a son that day.
But under cross-examination, the lead prosecutor tried to poke holes in his testimony, saying Acosta's actions following the shooting spoke louder than words.
But after hearing shots fired and not knowing, because your son's not telling you apparently, you don't think to call 911?
I was driving. I was trying to get home safely.
Don't think to call 911, do you?
No, ma'am.
And trial is in recess until tomorrow morning, when Acosta will again take the stand and the prosecution will continue its cross-examination. The jury could get this case tomorrow afternoon.